Have you ever wondered about the people who sit in those little booths all day lifting our bridges up and down? Or ever been stuck in traffic because of a bridge lift and there wasn't even a boat passing through, so you asked yourself, who the heck is ruining my day for no apparent reason? Well, we did. So early last year, we spoke with Multnomah County bridge operator Tod Richards to get some of these and many more questions answered. We originally aired this in January of last year, and we hope you enjoy this listener favorite. Just a quick note that Todd's audio will be a little choppy because reception on the bridge can be a little rough. It's Tuesday, February 20th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. So Todd, what do you actually do all day as a bridge operator?
We keep an eye on the bridge. We have cameras. And we keep an eye on the pedestrian traffic and the vehicle traffic. There's minor tasks that we perform as well that are just kind of clerical, minor maintenance tasks, keeping things clean and organized and just watching out for any kind of malfunctions, that sort of stuff.
Gotcha. And this is a question from one of the readers of our newsletter. Stephen Vertel wants to know, how do you schedule a bridge raising? Like, how do vessel operators contact you?
So our phone number is published in the River Pilot documentation. They call us on the phone and they let us know when they're coming through. However, during like regular business hours, a boat can just call us on the VHF radio and say, hey, I'm coming down. Can you give me a lift?
So it's not like months of planning. Someone could just be like, hey, I'm coming through.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, we lift the bridge on demand. If it's during off hours, say they're coming through on a weekend or in the evenings, and say they are a really big boat and they require all the bridges to be lifted, which is the Burnside, Morrison, Hawthorne, and the Broadway, they would need to give us advance notice so that we staff all the bridges. Normally, in the off hours, we only have two operators on duty. One person will be on the Hawthorne, and then one person will be on one of the other three bridges. So they would need to give us 2 hours advance notice. And the skippers are aware of this.
Gotcha. So how long have you been doing your job, Todd?
So coming up on 5 years. I was looking for work, part-time work, that would dovetail nicely with my school schedule. I decided to go back to school and get my engineering degree. And I was just looking for work and went to the Multnomah County website, saw it, and I got lucky enough to get it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool job, Todd.
I enjoy it.
I mean, it's the perfect job for studying, I'm assuming. This is what I'm thinking, is that you might have a bit of downtime. Do you ever get bored or lonely?
No, don't really get bored or lonely. I commercial fish for a lot of years, most of my adult life. And most of the time I was fishing alone on my own boat. So this was an easy transition. And there is some downtime. Absolutely. We're permitted to study if we have some studying to do. But that's, the caveat that we have to keep an eye on the bridges, have our cameras up, and we have to be aware of what's going on the bridges at all times.
Yeah, I mean, you must have such a bird's eye view of the entire city. What can you see from up there that you just couldn't imagine you were able to see when you were a non-bridge operator?
You get a wonderful view of downtown and Waterfront Park. It's a beautiful sight. One of the things I like about it is that when I first came back to Portland, I was born and raised here and then did my fishing thing in Alaska, the horizon being a long ways away. And when I got back to Portland, everything seemed kind of really close in. I felt a little claustrophobic. And so being in the bridge tower with the horizon a little farther away and fish around me is comforting. It makes me feel like I'm at home.
What bridge has your favorite view?
I'd have to say the Hawthorne Bridge, because the bridge tower is actually on the movable span, right? It's a horizontal lift. So when I have to lift for a really tall boat, I'm, 100 feet off the water. You can see all of downtown from the water side and the Esplanade on the other side. And it's really cool.
So what has been the weirdest interaction you've had while on duty?
We have people that fancy themselves as kind of the parkour crowd, the rock climbers that want to do some urban climbing.
Oh, no.
And we spot them. We have motion sensors on some of the frequented routes that people would like to take. So the alarm will go off and we'll just get on the intercom and just tell them to get down. That's not safe. And they're usually very surprised and they get right down. And that's frequent. I want to say it's probably once a month I'm telling a climber to get down.
That's so embarrassing for them. Like a child. You have to be like, hey, stop climbing that.
Yeah.
So Todd, what has been one of your most stressful moments being the bridge operator?
So occasionally the bridge will malfunction and everybody stopped and it malfunctions for some reason. And this happens occasionally. Since I've been working there in 5 years, maybe I've run into the situation 2 or 3 times at max. But then what happens is sometimes it's an easy fix and something that we can do as operators. There's little things we can do. If those procedures don't work, then we have to call the bridge maintenance crew and electricians to come out and, figure out what the problem is. All these people are waiting. These people have lives and they're trying to get to work or go home or whatever happens to be. So those are all the most stressful situations.
That leads perfectly into my next question, Todd, because that would be my number one concern if I were up there. Every time I would raise the bridge or whatever, I just look around and just feel the anxiety of everyone around me. So is that what you see when you see all the hurried commuters running late for work, stuck in the traffic? Like, do you feel remorse, or is there just a little bit of part of you that's like secretly enjoying their misery?
No, oh God, no. No. Absolutely not. No, we're trying to get these people to and from work. We actually don't do lifts during rush hours, which is 7 to 9 in the morning and then 4 to 6 in the evening. We avoid that. We also try to avoid to do during lunch hour, 11 to 1.
hmm
The lunch hour is a little bit more flexible, but no, absolutely not. There's no enjoyment of it.
Yeah, as a person who's always running late, I'm always stuck on the bridge. It's like karma for me every time I'm running late. And okay, we're going to take a quick little break here, but when we come back, we have more listener questions and a controversial topic I'm hoping you're able to put to rest. I have another listener question. Judy R wants to know, how much sway and noise does the tender feel in the operations booth?
The windier it is, the more there's rattling and shaking. Of course, we have a wind limit. Can't remember it specifically. It's quite high. I think it's like 40 or 50 miles an hour. But if it's above that sustained, we can't do it. But when it's windy, it definitely rattles and shakes as you go up. Absolutely. And I think it's fun. I really enjoy it.
I would be so scared. That would be my first and last day if that was my first shift if that happened.
Right. Yeah.
Well, so do you have a favorite bridge in Portland, even the ones that maybe you don't operate?
I think the St. John's Bridge,
Hey!
is super beautiful. I really love that bridge, the look of it.
Yes, agreed.
I actually did a project that I had that on a poster, the St. John's Bridge, because I like it so much. For lifting, I like the Hawthorne Bridge simply because the visibility is so great. I can really see all the sidewalks and where the gates come down and the traffic. And so the visibility is nice. I also like the Broadway Bridge. It's really old and it has those classic lights and classic kind of ironwork on the railings. It's just
Yeah.
kind of a real beautiful bridge too. I really like them all. I do.
I love it. Well, I just want to just go on the record for anyone listening that this is an official proclamation from a bridge operator that St. John's is the most beautiful bridge in all of Portland. I live in St. John's, and it's a common thing. You would not believe, Todd, that this is a topic of conversation from like non-bridge operators, but we're always talking about the bridges, and people have their favorite bridges. And anytime anyone doesn't say St. John's, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, if you have eyes or I mean, they're all beautiful in their own way, but St. John's, like, cat call, we woo.
It's gorgeous. It
Yeah.
is a gorgeous bridge. It really is. I mean, and I like bridges, and it's one of the reasons I'm going into structural engineering, and of course, bridge design would be kind of the rock stars of the structural engineering world, in my opinion.
Right.
And bridges like that, it's where form and function meet to produce beautiful curves or these organic curves where the actual most efficient structural design is beautiful. And I just really appreciate that. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into structural engineering and hopefully into bridge design. But I think the St. John's Bridge is one of those, just a wonderful example of that.
Oh, Todd, I really want you to design a bridge because that would be the perfect arc for you, and that's what I want for you. I
Yeah.
want I want you to design one.
All right. All right. I'm going to get you on my team.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up, and I just have two final, but like the most important questions. Todd, what's the better song, "Under the Bridge" or "Bridge Over Troubled Waters"? Do you want me to hum them for you?
No, I know Bridge Over Troubled
Okay.
Waters, but Under the Bridge, who did that? Who does that one?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't
Never
think I've heard the
wanna
song.
feel.
Oh, that's, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to say that one.
Oh,
Yep.
really? Over Bridge
Yeah.
Over Troubled Water.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I respect that. Okay. And here's our final and I think hardest hitting question. So feel free to take your time when answering. Bathroom breaks. How does that work?
We have bathrooms on the bridge. So we go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, but no one's looking at the bridge while you're doing that. All the parkour is happening.
Right. Okay. So we always have at least two operators on duty, one person on the Hawthorne always, it's kind of the lead bridge. And then we'll have one other operator on one other bridge. And that's happening 24 hours a day. During the day, then we have the maintenance crews and all that kind of stuff on bridges. But what happens is it lets the other operator know, hey, we'll be gone for a little bit. We need to go do something. Keep an eye on the bridges. So, and of course, both operators are always looking at the bridges anyway. But we notify our cohort that we're going to be gone for a little bit whenever we leave our desks.
Is there a code for it? Is there like a code for
No.
it? Okay.
No. Let me go to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, Todd, thank
Yeah.
you. This was like the loveliest conversation I've had in a long time. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think that the regular Portlander would find fascinating about your job?
Okay, so oftentimes we have to do maintenance lifts. What we do is we make sure that the bridge is working. We do this on a regular basis for all the bridges because we want the bridge, if there is going to be a malfunction, we want it to break on our schedule so that it doesn't break while there's a boat waiting.
Right.
Multnomah County can receive fines if we're making a boat so.
Right.
What happens is we do regular lifts when there isn't a boat going by. We see our pedestrians and people in the cars frustrated. They don't understand what it is that we're doing, why we are lifting a bridge and making them wait when there's no boat going through. I'm sure there's been people that have kind of wondered what's going on. What we're doing is we're making sure that the bridge, if it's going to malfunction, malfunctions on our schedule when there isn't a boat waiting, so we can fix it. And so that when a boat does go through, it doesn't have to wait, and Multnomah County isn't fined by the hour by the Coast Guard.
Thank you. That's actually so helpful because I've always wondered that. And I hope everyone else now has just a little bit of patience and understanding for the bridge operator who prefers under the bridge over troubled waters, which I think is a good sign. Special thanks to Sarah Hurwitz from the Multnomah County Communications Office for helping set this up. So after speaking with Todd, I really wanted to find out who is taking care of my St. John's Bridge. So I did some light Googling and found out that the 12 Willamette bridges actually have multiple jurisdictions. So Multnomah County, where Todd works, owns and maintains half of them. So that's like the Broadway, the Burnside, Hawthorne, Morrison, Sovey Island, and the Selwood bridges. But the Oregon Department of Transportation, or ODOT, maintains the Ross Island, the Marquam, Fremont, and my St. John's Bridge. The newest one, Tillicum Crossing, is operated by TriMet, and the Steel Bridge is actually owned by the Union Pacific Railroad. But check this out. The upper deck is managed by TriMet, while the lower level, like path, is maintained by the city of Portland. So just your fun facts for the day if you're a transpo nerd like I am. Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you with Slims.